Do you believe in aliens?
That's an interesting thing. I did Close Encounters. I did a lot of research.
Yep.
I did a lot of research. I talked to a lot of people who had seen the aliens, and I got a lot of stuff that pretty much proves that they do exist.
Excellent.
You know what? We haven't had a single person that we've asked that to that has said no yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah, well, Jimmy Carter saw them, and I read a book, Close Encounter. Every UFO Scientific Inquiry, Alan Hynek's book that was the basis for Close Encounters. So there's a lot of good information there. Anyway,
Amazing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. For someone coming to work on Encounters of the Third Kind or Close Encounters, that's really good. I was thinking if you said no, I think I would have really, really laughed. The fact that you said yes, it really affirms things. Okay.
That's cool. If somebody gave you $100 million right now, how would you spend it?
That's an interesting thing because I'm sort of comfortable. I have a house that I like. I have a house in Mexico, a small one in the ocean. I would probably make sure my daughters had two really nice homes.
Beautiful.
I used to have a Ferrari. Maybe I would get another one. It's been a while. I just drive an old a new Chevy now. And I think I would give a lot of away. I think there's a lot of people that could really use it.
Yeah, especially
Well,
right
you
now.
just remember your good pals Matt and Anthony here.
Yeah.
What exotic animal would you domesticate if you could?
Interesting. I've been looking at exotic animals. Oh gosh. I was thinking about koalas.
Oh, cool. I
Okay,
love
yeah, they're so
koalas. That's
cute.
an awesome answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so cute, cuddly,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like a koala.
That'd be really cool.
I would totally go koala too. I'm with you there, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your pet peeves? What gets on your nerves?
Oh God, I have to get the
A
president.
scroll?
Just summed up in one word. It's great. Yep.
Amazing. What's the last thing that you did just for yourself?
The last thing I did for myself, for my health, or for my
Or just anything,
for you.
just for yourself.
When was Joe time?
well, Joe is right now. I was just drawing some. Somebody wanted me to draw some sharks. They're going to sell them, and I drew an illustration of that, and do my sculptures. So I pretty much have a pattern. I exercise. I go hiking. My wife is a real hiker. She climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, so she really hikes. I just walk up the hill, a couple miles and back. But my day is pretty well, doing my artwork, doing my sculptures. Pretty happy with that.
Good.
That's great. What holiday would you erase from the calendar if you could?
Oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it? What holiday?
We've heard a lot of answers, so there is no wrong one.
Yep.
Well, I don't think they need Father's Day, but that's not really a holiday. Let me see. April Fool's? No, that's not a holiday.
I could,
I can't.
You could use those.
I
They're
would count
technically
it.
on the calendar. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
We'll take that.
All right.
All right.
What do you do when you can't fall asleep?
Oh, I take. I do take metformin. It's a little sort of pill relaxer.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. That
Take
puts
a
you
couple
right
of
out.
those at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after a few minutes, I'm sort of gone. So I.
Nice. I like it. What activity makes you totally lose track of time?
Oh, well, let me say, when I'm doing my sculptures, and a lot of them, you do them in wood, and you have to be really careful because you lose saws, bandsaws and stuff. If you don't really totally focus, you can cut your fingers off. So
Yeah.
when I'm there cutting wood and making these new sculptures and stuff, I have no idea. I'm just gone, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's it. You know, a
That's
quick
awesome.
quick interrupt on that. When I was in grade 7, we had the old wood shop that was still available, and
Yeah.
one of the kids actually cut off all his fingers off the bandsaw when we were there. So it was.
Oh, isn't that terrible?
Yeah. In grade 7, this kid lost all his 4 fingers on that.
Did they reattach him?
Yeah. They the teacher picked him up instantly, hit the emergency stop button, grabbed the kid, grabbed the fingers, ran out, and they had them back on. Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
great.
Crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to. You got to focus. Well, you got to focus on that. I used to race cars too, Formula cars.
Yeah.
And you got to pretty much focus on that too, or you go off the track or hit a wall. So
It's good to see you got some good concentration. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, this is the thing about driving. Yeah, whether it's Formula One or whatever, it's not crazy. It's focus. It's really focus. If you're going 200 miles an hour, you don't think crazy. You just got to really focus. Can I pass that guy? I can't pass him now. Maybe I'll try. You know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Right on.
That's cool. What's the best thing you've ever eaten?
Oh wow, gosh, that is so hard to say because I used to cook a lot, but now I've got vegetarians in my family here. And I've traveled all over. You know, I would say, I hate to say this, my daughter's going to kill me, but I had some rabbit in France, which is fantastic.
I grew up like with a hunting, fishing family, and we used to eat rabbit, and I totally know what you mean. If it's done right, holy moly, it can be
it's the
so
highest
good.
protein and very little fat. Yeah, and my mother used to cook it pretty much. From my father would raise them, and we would eat the rabbit, and he would sell the skins, but he never let us, when we were kids, play with them because they weren't toys or pets; they were
Revenue.
food.
Yeah, food and
Yeah,
revenue.
But I grew up during the war, so you know we had to be really careful. I mean, with the rabbit, we had our own chickens and stuff. So yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah.
All right, and have you ever had a crush on a fictional character, and if so, who?
Oh,
Fictional doesn't have to be cartoon. It can be just a character in a movie or
TV show or
TV show.
yeah, I'm thinking, but then there's some of the people I knew.
Yeah, I guess it's hard when you.
I mean, I had a neighbor that was a songwriter, and she would have Linda Ronstadt over and people like that, and they were all pretty impressive, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I thought about. I've been thinking about that question a lot lately, Maddie, especially after the whole Miss Frizzle comment. I'm going to say I remembered being young and loving I Dream of Jeannie. Jeannie was just
okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was great.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I could go. You know, Nicole Kidman did some pretty interesting things. She was pretty attractive.
Yeah.
But of course, I go back to Marilyn Monroe. You know, she was still around, and
Can't go wrong
that was
with
pretty
Marilyn.
impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Very cool. All right, and the last question for you: what's your favorite podcast that you've been on in the last 12 hours?
Oh, it has to be this one.
Hey,
Oh,
right
good
on.
answer.
No hesitation. We like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. You know, we're kind of finishing off things here, Joe. I can't thank you enough for all your time. One thing I want to bring up, actually, you had mentioned that you've got a book out now.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you. There's a book, Dennis Prince wrote it, and it's called Joe Alves Designing Jaws, and it's you can get it at Amazon.
Okay.
And it has every storyboard I did for Close Encounter for Jaws.
Okay.
It has every illustration, the ones I talk about in the beginning before Stephen was involved. It has technical drawings. It has the backside of the shark where you see all the mechanics, and it goes step by step. It's not me so much, but it's how. And I wrote to Stephen. I talked to Stephen recently. It's not about directing or acting. It's about the preparation for making the movie and how we got there. So you could get that on Amazon. Also on my website, joealvesmovieart.com, you can also buy copies of the storyboards from Jaws, the illustration from Jaws, and anything that I've done. I used to do a lot of shows. We're not doing shows now, where I would sign these things. And so if people are interested in the movie, I would recommend going to the website, joealvesmovieart.com. But the book, Titan bought the book, and they did a really great job. And you could get it. It's not that, I think it's only $26 on Amazon.
That sounds amazing, and I think there'd be a lot of great illustrations, a lot of interesting details in there. Before we let you go, and actually for our listeners who are on the road and listening to this right now, we'll make sure that we post those links up under Joe's profile in our guest section of our webpage. And before we do let you go, we do have a question from our last guest, actor Eric Morris, and he wanted to know, where was Jaws actually filmed? So that ocean scene and everything, where was that?
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard. Okay, so he was always curious. He was a big fan of Jaws, and he said, but he could never remember, or he never really found out where it was filmed. So
we shot the whole movie there, and the ocean, and Chrissy's getting pulled around, and shark getting there. So it was pretty much, we shot just some. The only thing we shot away from there was a tank, the underwater stuff. We shot that in a tank. It used to be the MGM tank, but pretty much it was all Martha's Vineyard.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, we can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your day and being on our show.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Joe. You're awesome.
It was fun.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So this is a good time for us to pitch our social media. You could get us on our website,
thefap.ca,
on Twitter,
is the Fap4,
you can get us on Instagram,
is the Fap Podcast,
don't forget our Facebook,
the Freaking Awesome Podcast,
and you can always reach out via email,
thefappodcast@gmail.com. I'm on the air, we got this podcast.
not again.
Wicked sweet.